You meditate, you journal, you try to let go. You've followed the advice to breathe, to be present, to think positively, and yet the suffering still lingers. You still feel unsettled, still reactive, still exhausted by emotions you thought you'd outgrown. Why? You're not failing. You're not spiritually weak. You're not broken. But maybe, just maybe, you're using spirituality to avoid the very thing it's meant to help you face. This is what the Buddha warned us about. That in our quest for peace, we may bypass the very wounds that need our attention. We may use mindfulness not as a doorway into awareness, but as a trapdoor to avoid the pain we fear. And in doing so, we build a spiritual cage. That looks like calm on the outside, but feels like disconnection on the inside. Real awakening doesn't begin when you feel good. It begins when you stop running. Let's explore the uncomfortable truth, why you still suffer, and how Buddhist wisdom invites you not to escape, but to turn toward your pain with courage and clarity, because that's where true freedom lives. You're not broken, but you might be bypassing. When people come to the spiritual path, they often come carrying pain, loss, loneliness, restlessness, the ache of not feeling enough. And so, they search for tools, meditation, mantras, rituals, retreats, to quiet the storm within. But here's the trap. Sometimes we end up using those tools to avoid facing what's real. We meditate to numb, we chant to distract, we smile to suppress. This is called spiritual bypassing, when we use spiritual ideas or practices to avoid painful truths. We say, everything happens for a reason. I just need to stay positive. Let it go. Just breathe. But what if the thing you're trying to let go of has never really been held? What if the wound still needs to be seen? The Buddha never taught that mindfulness means ignoring your suffering. He taught that mindfulness is the full embrace of your experience, even the parts you don't want to look at. Mindfulness is not escaping, it's meeting what's here. Many people misunderstand mindfulness. They think it's about escaping the noise, emptying the mind, feeling calm all the time. But true mindfulness, as the Buddha taught, isn't about escaping. It's about turning toward your reality with compassion and clarity. Mindfulness doesn't mean detachment from your emotions. It means noticing them fully, without judgment, without denial, without rushing to fix or flee. Most suffering doesn't come from what's happening. It comes from resisting what's happening, from pretending we're okay when we're not, from layering over the truth with silence and smiles, from turning away from discomfort rather than facing it with presence. The Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree not to escape life, but to meet it fully. He faced his fears. He watched his cravings arise and fade. He saw how clinging causes suffering and how awareness dissolves it. Real mindfulness is courageous. It asks, can I stay present with this feeling? Can I observe without needing to control? Can I let this moment be exactly what it is, even if it hurts? The trap of spiritual bypassing, when peace becomes pretending. Here's the hard truth. Many of us aren't practicing spirituality. We're performing it. We're trying to be Zen while avoiding what really hurts. This is called spiritual bypassing, using spiritual ideas or practices to escape real emotions, to avoid discomfort, to pretend we're above it all. We say everything happens for a reason, but secretly we're afraid to feel grief. We say, I'm detached, but deep down we're numb, not free. We say, let go, but what we're really doing is running, and here's the most important part. Avoiding your pain is not the same as healing it. Buddhist wisdom doesn't ask us to rise above our humanity. It invites us to meet it with full-hearted awareness. Even the Buddha experienced fear, desire and doubt under the Bodhi tree. He didn't skip over them. He saw them clearly, named them, and understood their nature. He didn't say, ignore suffering. He said, there is suffering. Understand it. There is a path to its end. That path begins by telling the truth. The truth that healing is not linear, that being spiritual doesn't mean being perfect. That pain is not your failure, it's your teacher. When you stop hiding behind spiritual cliches, when you meet yourself exactly as you are, raw, real, uncertain, that's when transformation truly begins. Because the only way out is through. You suffer, not because you feel too much, but because you fear what you feel. You suffer, not because life is broken, but because you resist its flow. And slowly, through that presence, the suffering begins to unravel, not because it disappears, but because your relationship to it changes. You stop being at war with life. You stop trying to control every outcome. And in that surrender, peace begins. Suffering doesn't end when you suppress it. It ends when you sit with it, feel it, understand it. That's not weakness, that's courage. And the irony is, when you stop trying so hard to be peaceful, you begin to feel real peace. The Buddha never promised a life without pain. He offered something far more powerful, a path to meet life as it is, to witness your sorrow with compassion, to sit with uncertainty, to open the heart, even when it aches. And from that space, peace arises, not the peace of escape, but the peace of deep understanding. So stop pretending you're okay when you're not. Stop using mindfulness as a mask. Be real, be raw, be present. Because freedom isn't found in perfection, it's found in truth. If this message stirred something within you, take a breath and take a step forward on your path.